Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of Pure Farming 2018. So here we are, and we're getting close to the middle of the night here, and there's only one reason why we would possibly be here in the middle of the night to start an episode, and that is because our tomatoes are done. So we're going to head over to the greenhouse, and two things. First, I want to see, of course, the tomatoes, and I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and just go all the way around right here. But also I want to see the percentages for our water and our fertilizer. Alright, so let's see if we can... No, we're not going to be able to... They're going to make it difficult for us to wheel ourselves in here. There we go. Let's go ahead and unload all these tomatoes. So we're at 80 and 88%, so that's exactly what we would expect to see. Meaning that we're going to get multiple growth cycles out of that one delivery, initial delivery of both our fertilizer as well as our water. Okay, so we'll head over and go ahead and make this sale. So that's the only thing we got going on right now. Of course, as we talked about in our last video, we're about ready to get back to some field work. I've put it off for as long as I realistically want to. I'm ready to get back to it. I know the AI have lots of problems right now, and that's okay. At this point, I know we're going to be getting, or at least I would expect that we're going to get another update on Friday, so just in a few days. So that's going to give me time to really think about how we want to go about this. And of course, we're going to need a lot of equipment. We're going to be getting dedicated equipment to our field work, so we're going to have to take some time. It's going to take a few different cycles of income from our various investments in order to get where we need to be and have enough money to buy everything. So that's perfectly fine. That'll give us enough opportunity to get at least one more weekly update in from the game, and then we'll see where we go from there. But as far as I'm concerned at this point, as long as the workers can actually do the work, whether it's only at 90% or somewhere thereabouts, and even if they have their issues, I'm fine with that if we can simply get it done, because like I said, I'm ready to get back to it. Alright, so there's $6,100 from the tomato, so we're done there. Alright, let's pull over here and park here just for a moment. Not that there's anybody going to be coming by. Alright, so if we look at our notifications, we see our cow barns, which we're used to seeing up there, and the percentage of milk that we're ready to collect. So the tomatoes are they've already started their next growth cycle. Same thing here with the peppers. We have 4 more hours to go on those. And then outside of that, we got a couple more days on our animals, and then 3 more days on our orchards. So we did get a little bit of rain. Okay, let's actually come over. Let's see if it's going to give me any percentages here. Okay, spraying percentage is still right up there. Okay, we're still in great shape there. All right, let's now take a look at our other. Okay, yeah, we're in absolutely great shape. As long as those percentages are anywhere close to being accurate, we're in great shape. We did, like I said, we did have just a little bit of rain. Very little. It rained for maybe 3 hours of game time, 3-4 hours, something like that. So not very long at all, and it appears to have not hindered our spray percentage at all. So that is a very good thing. So it looks like the game is set up to where, unless it rains for basically a full day or probably about a half a day of game time, then you're not going to run into any issues with your spray percentage. So I am a big fan of that, because we need all the help we can get on the revenue right now so that we can save up and start purchasing the equipment that we're going to need. All right, there we go. There's our wonderful dismount. Okay, so one more check in here. Looks like the next thing we're going to be waiting on are these peppers. So we'll be back in just a moment for that. All right, you can see in the top right hand corner, well, wouldn't you know it would disappear just as I was saying that. But we had our notification that we're ready to pick up at greenhouse number 1. So let's head over and get that income. So these greenhouses are a great return on your investment. Early game particularly, this is an amazing way to earn some money, especially now that we have a chance to see how it looks after 2 growth cycles. So we're looking at after 2 growth cycles, and we have 60% remaining fertilizer and 69% water. So we're going to run out of fertilizer first, but you got to admit, this is looking very good because we've not had to replace the fertilizer or the water, either one, since we put in that initial amount, and this is now our second. All right, let's go ahead and take off this way. See if we can do this without jackknifing the trailer. But yeah, these are turning out to be a really good investment. We only paid, what, a total of $25,000 to have a fully upgraded greenhouse, and now we are getting great revenue. These are going to pay for themselves in a matter of days. And then we'll be making pure profit off of those. They're very cheap to maintain, even whenever you have to refill the fertilizer. Of course, the water is free. There we can see all of our young calves over there. I tell you, one of the things I would love to see in this game is the ability to designate one or more, preferably more, as many as you would like, one or more fields as additional storage for the cows. And that way we can keep even more cows. That would be pretty awesome. Of course, it'd be nice if we could plant grass as well in fields and so on. That would be pretty amazing and really enable us to do, because if you guys watched any of my other videos, I mean, I really like, on the farming side of things, I really like dealing with the animals. Probably more than anything else I enjoy doing in these games, I enjoy dealing with the animals. So it'd be great if we could expand that out and have even more cows. Same thing with pigs or whatever you're into. I know they have everything in the game right now for goats. I'm really looking forward to, they've mentioned that that's coming in the future. Not sure when that would be, but looking forward to seeing where they go with that as well. All right, let's come back under our notifications. All right, so we're now good to go now that we have crossed over into a new day. We're on day 28. So now we're 1 day away on the animals. And of course, we've got 10 and 20 hours respectively on the greenhouses. Oh, now we've got sprinkling level. Okay, so maybe it just took a minute. Maybe it actually had to roll over into a new day in order for this rain to take effect. That would be bad if that's what happened. Let's come over and take a quick look. Oh, yep, it sure did. So any rain at all triggers these guys to go down to a spray level of 0. That is definitely not what I wanted to see. So as I mentioned before, we had a little bit of rain. We had probably maybe 3 to 4 hours of game time. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't all that long. I was expecting it to rain because it showed up on our 7-day forecast, but it didn't rain near as long as I was expecting, because my experience so far in this game says that whenever it rains in the game, it usually rains for like a full day. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be parking here for now. And looks like I'm going to have to head over and spray. So we'll be back here shortly to deal with the animals. Alright, so we are back, and it is time to work these orchards. So I've already sprayed them, as I mentioned in the last few minutes of the video. Went ahead and sprayed those. They got plenty of water right now. Of course, I'll have to go back and refill that before too terribly long. But for right now, it is time to get paid and pick up our harvest. So that'll be a huge amount of money once we get all 3 of these fields harvested. And I'm going to try not to forget that we still have more apples in there this time. I think it was last time that I was doing this, that I was doing the harvest pickup, that I actually forgot that we still had more apples in there after I did the first delivery. So we're not going to do that this time. I did go back later on last time and pick that up before they spoiled, but yeah, we don't want to lose out on any money, especially now, because over the next few growth cycles we're going to need to get a lot of income, because we need to purchase a lot of machinery. And of course, the most expensive portion of this is going to be our harvester. It's going to be our combine, and yeah, it's going to cost us around 100 grand, give or take, depending on which one we decide to get and how all of this works out with the income. Let's see, do we get there far enough? Just barely. All right, so we've been getting a little over, I think it was a little over 13,000 on each one of these deliveries. Wow, look at how slow that is graphically leaving the trailer, even though it is at about 25% in the bottom right-hand corner. All right, there we go. First round done, 13.7K. We will definitely take that. We're up to 33,900. Do we hear the music? Nope, I didn't hear the music that time. It must be too early in the morning for them to be partying at the diner. All right, there's our one lone wind turbine on this portion of the map. And at some point, I definitely do want to purchase all of the wind turbines as well as the solar panels on this map, because it's just free money on a daily basis, and can very simply put an additional income for you that you don't have to do anything for other than spend the upfront money. So I'm all about that. All right, everything in me wants to take the shortcut right over there, and also it would be nice if I could remove the fencing right there so I could just drive right through there. That would be tremendous. But as of right now, I do not have that ability, so we are going to take the long way over. But whenever you're making a delivery that's going to make you a nice sum of money, it makes up for it. Alright, here we go. Okay, so not bad. We end up with almost 16 grand out of this one orchard. Okay, now we will, if we can get over there, there we go. Let's go ahead and move over to our second group of orchards. There we go. Oh, look at that. Hold on. We got to stop for a second. Stop. Thank you. Oh, come on, game. Work with me now. The downside of having the game leave the lights on for you whenever you exit the vehicle, it does have its downside. Because I was doing all of my spraying at about 1 o'clock in the morning, so I definitely needed the lights on. Alright, here we go. We're going to take out this road sign this time. Yep, I can see us hit it. Let's see if I can come at this from a good enough angle to keep it going, and ooh, just made it. Alright, now let's pick up all our pears. So again, this should be Basically the same harvest as what we just got done with at our apple orchard as far as sheer volume. Of course, we know the prices are different for each of these, so we get paid a little bit different on apples versus the pears. But as far as volume, it's roughly the same just from eyeballing it. Alright, love seeing that money going up in the top right hand corner. I've already got some idea of what equipment we're going to need as far as, because you got some different options, and I'm thinking about which equipment we want to use. And what I'm probably going to be going with, and we'll talk about this more when it's actually time to purchase the equipment for our field work. But I'm going to be looking at more of the simple design equipment. I'm not going to be looking for the, the huge plow, or the the biggest plow or the biggest cultivators and that kind of thing, because I feel like that's where the AI really have trouble, is with the bigger implements. So we're going to try to stick with more of the basic implements and just try to keep it simple, and we'll see how the AI progress going forward. But for now, that's plenty good enough for me. All right, yeah, that amount of volume from this orchard is basically identical to what we got from the apple orchard. And now this particular orchard that we're going over to now is indeed a little bit bigger. So it gives us, I would imagine, the equivalent of roughly 1.5 trailer loads, somewhere along those lines. Either way, we're going to take it. All right, so we're just over $50,000 right now, and I can definitely tell you that we're going to be looking for a different tractor to do our field work, simply because I want to mix it up a little bit. I really wish we had some of the New Holland equipment in the game, because I drive by a New Holland dealership fairly regularly around town, so I get to see some of that nice looking equipment, some of the nice tractors that they have out, always just sitting right out front and looking very nice. Alright, so this will be our third delivery. I had to think for a second. So 1, 2, yeah, third delivery, and then we'll have nearly another full load here in just a moment. So if we think ahead to the amount of income we're going to get from that, it's going to be, yeah, around 70, a little over 70,000 by the time we get done with all this, between 70 and 75. Let's go ahead and take care of this load, and this will give me a chance to see exactly how much we're going to get from this, because I forgot what we got the actual just a minute ago. Wasn't paying close enough attention. So we know we got 13.7. Okay, so 14.2 this time. So 13.7 from a full load of the apples, 14.2 on a full load of the pears. Very nice. So that puts us at 65, and actually we're going to end up with a little bit more money than I thought. Didn't realize we were getting paid quite that much for the pears. So So yeah, we're going to eclipse 75 grand on this next delivery if it's anywhere close to the amount that I expect it to be. I don't think the rain ended up affecting our harvest amount, the sheer volume. I don't think it did. But as always, like right here on the right, you can see there's that one tree there. That one tree that looks like it is almost ripe, but unfortunately, it did not ripen with the rest of the orchard. So we'll see how that works out. But no matter, it's just the one tree anyway. Not that big a deal. We must have gotten off sequence with it at some point in the past. I noticed it when I was spraying earlier. Alright, so this should give us somewhere around 80 to 90% full load in the trailer. Yeah, there we go. So that's our normal amount there. So we'll get somewhere around 10 to 11,000 on it. And that will definitely put us up around that $75,000 mark that we're looking for. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start accumulating equipment there in our home base, right over there, in fact. We're going to start accumulating our equipment, and whenever we get everything that we need, then we'll start our field work. No sense in starting the field work just yet, even if we were able to purchase some of the needed equipment, because we're going to need a harvester before we can really finish off any of it, and we're not going to have enough money for that for a few more cycles at a minimum. And of course, there's always an opportunity to take out a loan in the game. That is something very easy to do. In fact, we might even look into that. But I really prefer doing all of this on a cash basis if at all possible. My finance background just cringes every time I think about a business as healthy as ours right here, with as much money as we're bringing in every few days, taking out a loan for something that we could simply wait a few more days and take care of on our own. There you go, top right hand corner, you can see that money filing in. So there's 75,000. So 76,300. So that takes care of, let's go ahead and look in our notifications. So right now we're back to the cow barns being in good shape. So now we are at this point in great shape, because where we are is we need to go to our cow barns, not necessarily to pick up the milk, although we're getting extremely close to a full load on that as well. But we need to go, and I'm sure if we take a look at these here in just a moment, we're going to be very close on both the manure as well as the slurry as well, making money on that. So at this point, our pigsties will be done in one more day. And then, of course, we just got restarted on our orchards. We got peppers and tomatoes that will be done here pretty shortly, as those are going to be a daily thing for us now. And I won't show you, every time I pick up a load from those, but I did want to show you the first few just so you can get an idea of how that works. And then somewhere along the line, I do want to pick up the final greenhouse. But for now, like I said, I am focused on field work and accumulating enough money to pick up the tractor or tractors, depending on how many we decide to get, as well as we're going to need a combine. Of course, we're going to need everything. We're going to need sowers, we're going to need cultivators, we're going to need, you name it, we need it. A few things that we could actually pull from what we already have, but for the most part, we are already set. All right, so let's go ahead and come out of this and let's drive back over. I want to see, all right, let's get going in the right direction here. Now I can pull up the map. All right, so let's see, slurry, we're at 13%, which our slurry tank, we can handle about 11% of that. Manure, we're not ready for that yet, because 17% we can handle about 40, 43, 46%, somewhere in that neighborhood there. Okay, if we come over to our other cow facility, yep, same thing here, 12% on the fertilizer. Now 44%. Now we're talking on the manure. Now, but here's the good thing about this particular cow barn location is we are literally right next door to where we need to be to sell it at the biogas facility. So this is the kind of thing that really expands our income potential without requiring us to travel halfway around the map in order to make the sales and get that income. So at this point, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to do some things off camera. I am going to take care of the slurry and the manure. Since we've done that several times now on camera, I'll take care of that off camera. And whenever you see me next, we'll actually have quite a bit more income and we'll be ready to take care of our pigs. All right, welcome back everyone. So we are definitely entering the time in our playthrough where we could use some AI assistance. And the reason I say that is because I have been hopping the entire time since I paused the video for you guys and tried to get some stuff done off camera. I have taken 2 loads of slurry. I have taken 1 load of manure from cow barn number 2, our second location there. And then I have collected twice from our greenhouses. I mean, I have been all over the place and have spent very little time actually having to fast forward. So I had planned on coming right back to you guys here in just a second and doing what we had talked about with the animals, selling our animals, and then that would take care of our video. And then I just got a notification where our greenhouse was ready to be collected again. So yeah, we've got multiple income streams. If you look in the top right hand corner, you can see that we are just shy of 100,000 in our account as of now. So yeah, things are definitely flowing right along, and we're getting to the point where, if you remember back as we got started in this playthrough, we were in a situation where we would have something to do and then we would have to, you know, fast forward a couple of days until we had that same thing to do again. Well, we're past that now. Between the greenhouses and between the orchards and the animals and the milk and the slurry and all of this stuff, then you can see, I mean, we've got a lot going on. Now, also another thing I wanted to show you guys on the greenhouses is take a look at where we are on our fertilizer and water levels. We're still above 50%, and this is, I believe, my 3rd pickup from this particular location. So let's go ahead and, wow, easy game. This is our 3rd pickup, and we're still above 50%. I believe the cutoff, if I'm not mistaken, is 20%. As long as both the water and the fertilizer level are above 20%, then growth continues in the greenhouse. So we are great. We've gotten 3, and we're looking at probably 4 actual growth cycles that we will be able to take advantage of before we have to refill the water and the fertilizer. So that is awesome. And that goes back to what I was telling you back a couple of videos ago, where the recent updates to the greenhouses have made it so that you have to spend a lot less time working on them and refilling fertilizer and refilling the water constantly for the profit that you get off of them. Now, the profit is very good, which we've already seen, and we're going to see again here in just a moment. In fact, as we talked about, you're going to make your money back on the greenhouses in about 3 days. I mean, the 25 grand you spend plus the little bit you spend on fertilizer is very little. So about 25 grand, and you're going to make that back in profits very quickly. So just in a few days, you'll get your money back there, because you're almost getting 2 crops per day. Not quite, but you're almost getting 2 crops. And of course, part of that depends on what you have planted in these. But yeah, it is a really good investment, particularly early game. If you're looking for a quick source of income and you don't have a lot of money to spend, this is most definitely a great way of doing it. All right, so that puts us at $103,000. So we started the video, I think, around 20,000, somewhere thereabouts. And you can see we've made 80 grand, and I still haven't sold any milk yet. So we still got a milk run to make. We'll do that next video. But yeah, we are looking at in great shape with regards to our income. And if we keep this up, we're going to be able to get a lot of equipment very quickly and get started on this field work within the next couple of videos realistically. All right, so here we are, 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's go ahead and turn off these lights before I forget. Okay, let's take a quick look at what we've got going on in our notifications. So we've got our 2 cow barn notifications here. So we're at a total of 22% milk, and our milk tank, which is actually right over here to the left next to us on the map right now, can handle about 17% of our total storage. So you can see we're ready for a full load of milk to be sold. And that's going to get us $6,500, $6,600, somewhere thereabouts, maybe a little more, a little less, just depending on where the prices are currently. But what we're concerned with right now is our pigs are ready to go. Okay. And then, of course, as you can see, here in just a few hours, we will actually have our peppers ready to go again. And then shortly after that, we'll have more tomatoes ready to go again. So we have no shortage of work to do on our farm. And this is where, as I was mentioning as we came back, that it's really getting to the point where we are extremely busy all of the time. This is going to make for perfect streaming material if and when I can ever figure out how I'm going to allocate some time to do that. All right, let's go ahead. You can see, let's see, where's our fodder? Okay, we have, well, 4% fodder left. So it lasted just as long as it needed to. Let's go ahead and sell all of our pigs. 16 grand of income. And let's go ahead and sell out of the other pigsty as well. All right, there we go. So before we buy, we need to leave the circle anyway. Let's go ahead and refill all of our fodder, which will last us 2 cycles on the pigs. So $8,100, pretty expensive fodder there. You can feed them potatoes also, but right now the potatoes, as I'm understanding, are definitely not the route we want to go in the game, simply because there's some bugs, I believe, in that. Okay, let's go ahead and spam that buy button 20 times, and then we're going to also, even though we're at 52% on the fodder, we're going to go ahead and just fill that up while we're here. No reason not to, really. Okay, so there we go. We come back in, take a look at our notifications. By the way, this is just a beautiful area. Without this, I'm not sure what I would do and how I would keep track of everything that goes on in the game. So this notifications tab is huge. So everything is all set. You can see there we've just reset on the animals. We have 3 days on those. Of course, our greenhouses are an ever ongoing situation, 9 hours before it's time to pick up those again. And then we've got our orchards are 2 more days away. And if we come back to our home screen, you can see we are in great shape for the next several days before we are going to see any rain again. And wow, this has been a great video. We have gotten a ton done, not necessarily all of it on camera, but the whole point of this video was to get us closer to where we can start buying some equipment that we're going to need to do field work. And I would say, as I look in the top right hand corner, we've done just that. $120,000 is what we have now. So when we come back in our next video, we're going to get started purchasing that very equipment. We're going to look at plows. We're going to look at cultivating and sowing. We're going to look at getting a new tractor, because I want a tractor dedicated to our field work, at least 1 and eventually 2 and maybe more, as we implement some ideas that I've got going forward. But for now, a great video today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more as we continue our gameplay series of Pure Farming 2018.